Start engine 1.
Starting engine 1.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Engine 1 start complete.
Start engine 2.
Starting engine 2. Engine 2 start complete.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight today. This is the lead flight attendant speaking. Please direct your attention to the cabin crew for important safety information. There is an instruction card in your seat pocket that illustrates the safety equipment on this aircraft. Regulations require compliance with this information as well as all crew instructions, lighted information signs, and posted placards. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle. Tighten by pulling on the belt. To release your seatbelt, lift the metal flap on the buckle. It is our policy that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times while seated.
Flight
Doors
control
are
check.
clearly marked with exit signs and instructions for door operation. Each door is equipped with an escape slide. Locate the exit nearest you. The nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, lights will illuminate the aisle. The cabin is pressurized. If there is a loss of cabin pressure, a panel will open and oxygen masks will appear. Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and pull a mask toward you to start the flow of oxygen. Oxygen will be flowing to the mask even though the bag may not inflate. Cover your nose and mouth with the mask. Place the elastic band around your head and tighten by pulling on the ends. Secure your own mask before assisting others. Your seat bottom cushion may be used as a flotation device. Pull up and remove the cushion. Upon exiting the aircraft, place your arms around the cushion and hold on to the straps located on the back. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not permitted in the cabin or lavatories. Cabin lights will now be turned off. Reading light buttons are located above your seat. Thank you for your attention.
Flaps 8. Flight control check. Complete. Chicago ground, Limburg 4184, request taxi to the active.
Lindbergh 4184, taxi to runway 10 right, via Alpha Zulu, cross runway 10 left, then cross runway 10 center at your discretion.
Copy, taxi to runway 10 right via Alpha Zulu, cross runway 10 left, then cross runway 10 center at my discretion. Limburg 4184. Limburg 4184, waiting to cross runway 10 left.
Lindbergh 4184, cross runway 10 left at your discretion.
Crossing 10 left at my discretion.
Approaching.
Limburg 4184.
10 left.
Limburg 4184, waiting to cross runway 10 right. Limburg 4184, waiting to cross runway 10 center.
Approaching. 10 center. Approaching. 10 center. Approaching. 10 center.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff.
Cabin crew take seats for takeoff.
Before takeoff, checklist to the line.
Flight attendants, take your seat for departure, please. Cabin has been notified. Crossflow manual. Thrust reversers armed. Takeoff data set for runway 09. RNAV first fix identified. 1,000. 100 feet pre-selected. Fuel, min fuel confirmed. Takeoff config.
Set and checked.
Checked. For takeoff, check to the line complete.
Thank you. Before takeoff, check below the line.
Anti-ice.
Set and checked.
CAS.
Set and checked.
Checked. For takeoff, check below the line complete.
O'Hare Tower, Limburg 4184, ready to go runway 10 right.
Lindbergh 4184, Chicago Tower, runway 10 right, wind 010 at 6, fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Runway heading check. Runway heading check.
Approaching. 10 right. On runway 10 right.
knots. V1, rotate. Positive brake. Gear up.
Lindbergh 4184, contact departure.
Switching to departure, Limburg 4184. Departure, Limburg 4184 with you.
Lindbergh 4184, Chicago departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 210.
Climb and maintain flight level 210, Limburg 4184. Flaps up. After takeoff check.
Lindbergh 4184, climb and maintain flight level 220.
Climb and maintain flight level 220 for Lindbergh 4184.
After takeoff check.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments we'll begin our meal service for the flight. Please refer to the menu given to you on boarding for the 2 meal choices and your beverage choices available. We request that you keep the aisles clear to assist the flight attendants to serve you efficiently and also for your own safety. Thank you.
So this is only my second flight with a CRJ since this major update was released. Trying to figure out why the autopilot had a hard time recognizing an initial vertical speed of 1,800 feet per minute. It kept pointing the nose down, so that's what I had to correct, which made the autopilot automatically come off. But I think we're established now, or maybe we're still descending. So I'm gonna double check that, maybe look at some videos to see if there's a different way to enter into a smoother climb process with the CRJ. I mentioned in previous videos that I've really been in PMDG mode mostly,
Lindbergh
as well as
4184, climb and maintain flight level 240.
Climb and maintain flight level 240, Lindbergh 4184. So yeah, I've been flying mostly Boeing aircraft and Airbus aircraft on Flight Sim 24. So it's really only my second one with the CRJ, and I can tell the CRJ does have very significant improvements, but I need to figure out how to make this climb better. So I'm going to play around with the system here, but I'll probably have to just watch an instructional video on how to do this better on the CRJ, because this is definitely a very slow climb right now. And I want to get it up to 250. Okay, you know, the problem could be that my speed is currently at 146, so I need to change that. Set speed 250. That might do the trick. And as far as I know, CRJs do not have any kind of automated VNAV and speed control, so it's definitely a very hands-on aircraft. I might have heard somewhere some of them are upgraded to have a more robust VNAV system. I personally don't mind having a more manual VNAV situational awareness. This I think it helps keep us as simmers on our toes on procedures. So yeah, it's definitely not a bad thing to have to just be more hands-on with the flight. And just like Airbus, the airplane does have a climb setting, just like it has a toga setting. So that's also another thing to remember when you're very used to flying Boeings and just setting the VNAV auto throttle sequences. I mentioned on my first flight when I restarted flying the CRJ a couple of days ago, I really like this airplane. I happen to live in the Washington DC area, so sometimes I have to take a lot of the American Eagle.
Lindbergh 4184, climb and maintain flight level 260.
Going to flight level 260, Lindbergh 4184. So as I was saying, living here in DC near Reagan Airport, get to fly CRJ-7s, CRJ-9s often to even to the bigger airports like Charlotte, depending on the time of day and the traffic demand. So I happen to like the aircraft quite a bit. It's a nice regional jet. So I'm glad to see it finally improved significantly in the simulator, because if you recall, this airplane was the first airliner released in Microsoft Flight Sim more than 4 years ago. But it wasn't the most flyable aircraft, and even with the FS24 update a few months ago, it was still a little bit frustrating to fly. So this last update, which is now a week old, I think they did a really good job, and the airplane is definitely a lot more enjoyable.
We're now above the safe
I'm also
altitude.
using Say
May
Intentions
use
so you
your
can
electronic
hear some
devices.
flight
Just
attendants,
remember to
and I'm
keep
also
them in
using
airplane mode,
FS2 Crew so you can
Also,
hear
onboard Wi-Fi
co-pilot helping with the
service is available
flows.
now, so feel free to connect and enjoy your flight.
I just hope they can
Appreciate you flying
integrate
with GoJet
the
Airlines today
voices
on
more.
flight
So my
4184
co-pilot,
from Chicago
if
to
my
Dayton.
co-pilot
Thank you.
were running the comms, which is normal procedure, but today I want to run the comms today just to practice a little more with Say Intentions. I want the same voices, FS2 Crew voice to match the Say Intentions voice. And right now they do have a match voice for between FS2 Crew and Say Intentions, which is the Stephanie first officer, but unfortunately the current version of the CRJ for FS2 Crew does not come with Stephanie, so you're going to hear different voices sometimes. Set speed 290.
Lindbergh 4184, climb and maintain flight level 300.
Going to flight level 300, Lindbergh 4184. Another thing, since this latest update to the CRJ, I find the manual flying to be very smooth, very enjoyable. I think when that very initial version came out a few months ago, I only tried like maybe, not even a full flight, the beginning of a flight, and I found that the manual to be way too sensitive, very hard to control. But I can definitely tell that there's a huge increase in quality here.
Lindbergh 4184, contact Chicago Center on 124.825.
Going to 124.825, Lindbergh 4184. I like that Say Intentions is automatically tuning the center.
Lindbergh.
Chicago Center, Lindbergh 4184, passing flight level 150.
Lindbergh 4184, Chicago Center, good morning, 3 Oaks, altimeter 30.12.
3 Oaks, altimeter 30.12, Lindbergh 4184.
Lindbergh 4184, climb and maintain flight level 310.
Climb and maintain flight level 310, Lindbergh 4184. I was saying I like that Say Intention does automatically put the next frequency on standby. So on a flight like today where I'm handling the comms, again, I don't want to just be over reliant on my first officer to handle the comms. Even if in the real world the first officer does handle the comms, or the pilot not flying handles the comms. It's good practice. So having the automatic tuning on standby just saves me some time to look down and try to dial in a new frequency, and keeps you focused on the flying itself. Another thing I'm trying to remember, does the CRJ have a standard button for altimeter once you pass 18,000 or whatever your country's train station happens to be? If not, it's gonna dial 2909 or 2 here. And okay, I'm using the wrong button. I mean, I'm using the range button here. Let's see. Okay, that's working. Okay, so I think there is no standard button on the CRJ compared to the Airbus and the Boeings, but I'll also check that in some instructional videos to see if that's working. And I was also dialing the wrong dial as far as the so right now I'm thinking, okay, the one I'm dialing here is just for decision height. I'm gonna go ahead and set it to 200 for our approach. Also, that I'm going to just monitor my throttles and speed. I want to climb out at 290 more or less. So I've been playing with the vertical speed. And I take it the first officer did not handle landing lights after 10,000? Yeah, I gotta do it on my own. And that's fine. So my speed's slowing down, so I got... If I'm not mistaken, on the CRJ, if I press altitude, it's just gonna level me off at the current altitude I'm in, as opposed to controlling the VS. I don't want to... Okay, maybe I should toy around with it just to get a little bit acquainted. So I have 310 as my cruise altitude. It's on the upper right in magenta. I'm using VS to control the climb right now, and again I want it to maintain about 290, and my throttles are on climb mode. But if I press altitude here, I think it's just going to level me off. Yeah, that's what it's doing. So I definitely want to be on VS. And again, I promise to look at some instructional videos to make the most efficient use of this climb procedure.
Lindbergh 4184, descent in about 10 minutes. Just say the word if you'd like to start down earlier.
Copy, Lindbergh 4184. It might be even better to just level off here because we are going to descend very soon. Dayton is only... how far are we from Dayton? So we're 180 miles, nautical miles from Dayton. So yeah, we got to descend.
4184, level off approved. You are 45.7 miles from your destination.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached cruising altitude.
Copy, Lindbergh 4184.
Day 4, heading from Chicago to Dayton. We're gonna start our snack and drink service now, so sit tight, eh? We We got some tasty options for you, like our delicious pretzel bites and a refreshing selection of beverages. After we wrap up the service, I'll be coming around with some cool articles from the GoJet shop, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for flying with us and enjoy the flight.
Are you ready for the approach briefing?
Go ahead.
So we're expecting runway 36 in Dayton. Very good weather right now, no threats in the immediate area, and we are going to be vectored in. There is no star for this procedure. Any questions?
No questions.
Descent check.
Pressurization set. Fuel
Ladies and
checked.
gentlemen, we'll be
Altimeters.
arriving at our destination shortly.
Set and
We are
check.
making a connection to another
1013.
flight.
Set right.
Please see the
Landing data.
customer
Set
service agent
4604
flight or video
pounds.
monitor
Thrust
inside
reversers.
the terminal for connecting gate information. For your continued safety, flight attendants will
Set and
now
check.
walk through the cabin
Lights.
to secure it for landing.
Set
We'll
and
be
check.
collecting all service
Seatbelts
items,
on.
newspapers, and any other items you wish to discard or may not be taking off the aircraft with you.
On.
Seatbelt
All
and shoulder
in
harness.
preparation for landing.
Set and
Turn
check.
off all electronic
Check
devices.
right. Approach briefing.
Stow these devices and all other carry-on
Complete.
items.
Descent
Please
check.
use caution when opening overhead bins as items may have shifted during our flight. Please stow your tray tables and return your seats to their upright positions and check the security of your seatbelts. We will be landing shortly. Thank you.
So there was a little bit of a false trigger there on FS2 crew. The flight attendant started speaking as we were on final approach. No, we're not. We're obviously only preparing for descent. So little bugs, but I'm sure they'll be fixed.
Lindbergh 4184, whenever you'd like, descend and maintain flight level 200.
Going to flight level 200, Lindbergh 4184.
Lindbergh 4184, descend and maintain flight level 200.
Descend and maintain flight level 200, Lindbergh 4184.
Lindbergh 4184, descend and maintain 17,000, altimeter 30.12.
Descend and maintain 17,000, altimeter 3012, Lindbergh 4182.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Deshaun speaking. We have left our cruising altitude and have started our approach to Dayton. Please return to your seats, stow your tables, and fasten your seatbelts. Also, the use of lavatories is no longer allowed at this time. We appreciate your cooperation as we prepare for landing. Thank you.
Roger. Pressurization set. Fuel checked. Altimeters.
Set and checked.
Lindbergh 4184, descend and maintain 13,000.
4600 pounds. Lights. Lights.
Set and checked.
Seatbelt sign.
Descend and maintain 13,000 Lindbergh 4184. Set and checked.
Seatbelt and shoulder harness.
Set and checked.
Checked right. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent check complete.
Something triggered the descent list again. One drawback to FS2 Crew, don't get me wrong, I love the program. It's very sensitive to the slightest voices in the background or anything. So even sometimes the slightest background voice can trigger an unrelated checklist as well. So you have to cancel the checklist. But again, it's something I'm willing to put up with because it is a very good program overall.
Lindbergh 4184, contact Indianapolis Center on 128.075.
Going to Indianapolis Center on 128.075. Lindbergh 4184.
Lindbergh 4184, contact Columbus approach on 118.85.
Going to Columbus approach on 118.85, Lindbergh 4184. Columbus approach, Lindbergh 4185 with you.
Lindbergh 4184, Columbus approach, good afternoon, James M. Cox, Dayton, altimeter 30.12. Expect the ILS runway 24 right approach into James M. Cox, Dayton.
Altimeter 3012, expect ILS runway 24 right into Dayton. Lindbergh 4184.
Lindbergh 4184, Columbus approach, descend and maintain 3700, turn left heading 120 vectors for the ILS runway 24 right approach.
Descend and maintain 3700, turn left heading 120 vectors for the ILS 24 right approach. Lindbergh 4184. Set heading 120.
Lindbergh 4184, descend and maintain 3500. Lindbergh 4184, turn right heading 160.
Turn right heading 160, Lindbergh 4184. Set heading 160.
Lindbergh 4184, descend and maintain 3500.
Descend and maintain 3500, Lindbergh 4184. Since we have such a beautiful day, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect now and just try to practice some manual with the yoke and the throttles. I know I'm a bit high right now, so I might make some S turns or a quick 360 turn just to get a little lower and more and better aligned with the final approach for runway 24 right.
Lindbergh 4184, 11 miles from Uyogo. Turn right heading 200. Descend and maintain 2700 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 24 right approach.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now on our final approach.
Turn right heading 200, descend and maintain
And stow them.
2700 until establishing the localizer. Clear for the ILS approach, runway 24 right.
And your seat belts are fastened, eh? Our GoJet Airlines staff on the ground will provide you with information regarding your connection flights. Crew, please check that everyone is seated and has their seat belts fastened. Captain cabin is ready.
Thank you, Deshaun.
You're welcome, Captain. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Deshaun speaking. We're just about to land at James M. Cox Dayton International Airport. Please make sure your seat belts are fastened and your seats are in their full upright position. Thank you for flying with GoJet Airlines today.
Set heading 241. Course alive.
Roger. Lindbergh 4184, contact James M. Cox Dayton Tower on 119.9er.
Going to tower on 119.9er, Lindbergh 4184. Dayton Tower, Lindbergh 4184, inbound ILS, runway 24 right.
Lindbergh 4184, James M. Cox. Dayton International Airport Tower, roger, continue approach. Winds 305 at 3. Runway 24 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 24 right, Lindbergh 4184. Flaps 1. Gear down.
Gear down.
Flaps 20. Flaps 45.
Before landing check, please. Landing gear.
Down. Set and checked.
Pressurization. Set. Fuel. Checked. Altimeters.
Set and checked.
3, 0, 1, 2. Set right. Landing data. Set 4, 5, 9, 7 pounds. Lights. Lights.
Approaching.
Set and checked.
2, 4.
Seatbelt sign.
Right.
Set and checked.
Seatbelt and shoulder harness.
Set and checked.
Checked right. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent check complete.
Landing checklist. Landing check. Landing.
Minimums. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Knots.
Check.
Lindbergh 4184, welcome to James M. Cox Dayton. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Going to ground on 1.189 or Lindbergh 4184.
And Captain Luis and the whole crew would like to say goodbye to you now. The local time here is 12:35 p.m. Did you know that Dayton is known as the birthplace of aviation? Yup, the Wright brothers kicked off their flying adventures right here. So, stay seated until we reach our final parking position, and thank you for flying with GoJet Airlines today. We hope to see you again soon, eh?
Dayton ground, Lindbergh 4184, request taxi to company gate.
Lindbergh 4184, taxi to FedEx 1 via Tango Romeo uniform. Good day.
After landing check.
gentlemen, this is the conclusion of our flight. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign and the aircraft is parked safely at the gate. This will be your indication it is safe to move about the cabin, gather your belongings, and disembark. We'd like to thank you for flying with us today. We appreciate your business and hope to see you again on a future flight.
Dayton ground, Lindbergh 4184 requesting parking at gate Bravo 19.
Lindbergh 4184, taxi to gate B19 via Bravo Echo Charlie.
B19er via Bravo Echo Charlie, Lindbergh 4184. so that's another CRJ flight in the books. Again, even during the approach phase, I was a little high, so I had to disconnect and make some adjustments, but I find the aircraft to be very flyable by hand. I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. I do want to test how it intercepts ILS localizers and how well the automated parts are as I do more flights, and especially if I have really bad weather conditions. But I have seriously jokingly say that if the weather is this good, there's no reason to fly automatic. You want to be manual and get some practice. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Again, if you compare to 4 years ago and to a few months ago when the first update came out, the CRJ is definitely much better with this latest update from about a week ago. The only I guess the only thing I wish Aerosoft would have done is to have updated the CRJ a lot sooner and not waited 4 years, because in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of you would feel the same way, it's just not good customer service to leave you hanging for so long to get a better airplane. Okay, so we'll see you soon. Take care.